Well, it's that time again. It's time to fix up the setup. Got a bunch of new additions to the setup. Not anything major, but enough to the point where I need to rework a lot of things. And yeah, glaring lights, love it. Um, Damn it. But need to rework a lot of things, and unfortunately, like everything now is pretty much in shambles. Looks like shit. Um, because all the new stuff I got, I had to make sure it worked properly, and yep, gotta redo all of it. So, what working with right now. Yep, like it just gives me also an excuse to do some cleaning, um, or some deep cleaning. But yeah, so some of the new things that I got to the setup right now is one, say DVI to HDMI cord. I'm tired of those big bulky adapters sticking out the back of my graphics card. Sorry, super close. Sticking out the back of my graphics card. It puts a lot of strain on the connectors, and I don't like it. And it's a little more difficult to try to cable management the cables when one of them sticks out like a solid 2 inches past all the other cables. It's not a huge deal, but I'd rather not have to deal with adapters if I don't have to. Plus, it means I get one of my HDMI cables back, um, which I don't have any shortage of HDMI cables, but I don't like any of them being unnecessarily used if they don't have to. If somewhere down the road I need another one, it's there for me. Um, but yeah, so like this is the main area of attack. Um, and a couple other installments I'll be going through and kind of like outlining how my entire streaming setup works, kind of more in depth than I usually can through a Twitter post. Um, it's not overly complex, but it just involves a lot of cables um, and whatnot. It makes it really annoying. Um, so this is going to be an all-day project for me, as it usually is. It gets faster as more and more times that I do it, but it still doesn't make it any less annoying, because it's so much to work with, and when you go and you add something, you have to take it all apart. Like when I added this new monitor, right? The this one here on the right side. Um, the HDMI cable I had going to it for that one wasn't long enough. So I had to use an older HDMI switch and then extend it out that way. So here's an unnecessary HDMI cable being used. Um, but also the way my cable management is done was not configured for this being put in. So it had one line of attack and that was it. So when I added this, I couldn't justify taking apart my entire setup again for one cable. Um, but also, like, this thing is still plugged in, and I don't want it to be, at least not right there, because yeah, it's still plugged in. Because the cables are so, I'm gonna say, perfectly managed that um, I can't go and just undo it. If I undo it, it's gonna undo everything. So yeah. So I think like in the next little installment, I'll show you the breakdown, everything kind of all in its in individual pieces and whatnot. Um, yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to try to keep these little installments kind of short, sweet, and simple. Nothing too crazy. Maybe I'll record a time lapse here or there. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. But this is going to be an all-day project again. And yeah, I have to do it because I've gotten just enough to where everything needs to be reworked and rethought through and replanned. I have a couple different ideas that's going to help hide the cables a little bit more. Some of them will be rearranged. Some of them will be moved to completely different places altogether. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. Longest part's going to be just getting all this shit out of here and surfaces cleaned and dusted and whatnot. But yeah, the next installment will be showing you all the parts and stuff broken down. And wait until y'all see how many cables are in this setup. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, getting all the shit back together doesn't take too long. But getting everything routed and bundled and velcroed and lengthened takes forever. So, alright, I'm coming out here, and I'll see y'all in a bit.